My boyfriend willingly let my ex, who has been trying to win me back for the last 10 months, come into our apartment and decorate it for my birthday, and he's completely fine with it and thinks it was just a sweet gesture. Like, what if he hit a camera or something? I, 28F, broke up with my ex, 28M, 10 months ago, but he will not get over it. Despite me wishing to no longer interact with my ex, as well as me dating someone new, Cole, 29M, my ex has been trying to win me back by doing over-the-top things like sending me gift baskets, love letters, chocolates, etc. Even though I've blocked his number on all social media and always ignore his attempts to woo me with his gifts. He never actually interacts with me directly. Never waits for me outside or tries to talk to me, he just leaves me gifts at our doorstep and runs away. It's creepy and makes me super uncomfortable. Cole, who I live with, doesn't actually see an issue with this and says he feels bad for my ex and doesn't want me to waste my ex's money/efforts, so I reluctantly just let Cole eat the chocolates and other crap since he insists I don't throw them out. He even likes reading the love letters even though I tell him I don't want to. I don't understand why he's so chill about this because my ex and Cole aren't even friends and have never interacted, so it makes no sense why he's so okay with my ex doing these dumb gestures that he knows make me uncomfortable and creeped out. If anything, Cole should be pissed off that someone is trying to steal his girlfriend, right? Anyway, all of this finally came to a head on my birthday. After work, I came home to our apartment decorated in balloons, chocolates, and flowers. I'm immediately touched, thinking all of this was a surprise from Cole. Nope. Apparently, my ex actually came over with all this crap, buzzed our apartment doorbell, Cole let him in, and allowed my ex to decorate our apartment and leave gifts for me. Then my ex left before I could get home. Cole apparently saw no issue with this. He literally let my ex into our apartment like it was no big deal because my ex came all the way with all these gifts, which was such a thoughtful gesture. Now I feel totally unsafe. What if my ex secretly left a hidden camera or something? I have no idea why Cole is so fine with all of this. I've talked to him over and over and he won't understand why I would want to reject free stuff from someone who cares about me. I love Cole, but the fact that he actually let my ex into our apartment was a huge breach of my trust, and I have no clue how to deal with this. Is this relationship just unsalvageable, or is there a way I can get it through Cole's head that none of this is okay? Could Cole have ulterior motives by letting my ex do all of these things? Any advice is welcome. I just have no clue how to handle this absurd situation. Thanks. Comments by Oop. Why she is already living with Cole, cost of living mostly. I live in a very expensive city, so I was living month to month on my own. He basically offered to be my roommate so that we can go half and half on the rent/internet/utilities, and it would relieve my financial stress, which it has a lot. It might have been stupid to jump the gun at us moving in so quickly, but he had only shown green flags until now. I can technically kick him out and try to look for a different roommate if things are totally done for, since most of the stuff in our apartment is mine. I mentioned above, it was mostly to do with the cost of living in an expensive city that we moved in quickly. I've known Cole for a couple of years as a friendly co-worker and gaming buddy, and then started dating him 8 months ago. I thought I knew him well enough, but apparently not. I meant he only showed green flags before we started properly dating and we moved in together. Before this whole stalker mess, he was, or at least pretended to be, thoughtful, funny, helpful, and sweet. The type who, if you told him you had a hard day, he'd offer a shoulder massage and let you vent to him. It wasn't until this stalker X stuff that he showed such a disregard for my safety and comfort. Edit. Thank you for all the insight, everyone. I really appreciate it. I don't have the money to do everything that was recommended, but I am going to do some investigating into Cole and my ex possibly being in cahoots with each other and confront Cole this weekend, likely to end this cluster of a relationship. If there's any interest, I'll update if anything significant happens. Thank you again. Update. 3 days later. Hello all, my last post blew up a bit and many people were concerned about me, so I'm going to give you this update. I can't even put into words how insane this situation has gotten. When I got back home on Friday, I tried to come up with a good plan to keep myself safe while I confronted Cole in case he were to do something scary. A lot of people put the fear of God into me in the comments of my last post. I invited my very tall and intimidating younger brother over to be there while I talked to Cole. My brother couldn't come over until Sunday, so I spent a day and a half awkwardly trying to pretend everything was fine, but I must have done a bad job because Cole kept asking me what was wrong and love-bombing me. Eventually Sunday came around, my brother showed up and we grilled Cole about why the hell he's been so fine with my ex coming around with gifts and even letting him in to decorate our apartment for my birthday. I was not ready. All of you had a lot of theories, one of which came up a lot was that the two knew each other and or were working together to do this. If anything, I would have rather that been the case because the truth is so much more messed up. Basically, Cole has been fixated on my ex. He has essentially been stalking my stalker. Cole admitted that he made fake social media accounts, yes, multiple, to follow my ex, and has been stalking his Instagram and Facebook. Apparently, my ex has been making a lot of vent posts about me and how hurt he is that I'm not returning his feelings and have moved on so fast, and Cole has been egging him on his alt accounts to get my ex to keep trying. The reason my ex is still stalking me is because Cole has been literally telling him to on his alt accounts. It's obvious my ex is unstable if he's listening to random strangers telling to keep trying, and Cole is taking advantage of his instability by planting thoughts into his head. If I am to believe Cole's words, my ex has no idea that it's Cole that's been encouraging him to keep pursuing me, but I can't be certain about anything this guy says at this point. So why, you ask, was Cole doing all of this? That is exactly what my brother and I asked. This was his answer: to give my ex false hope. Basically to bully him. Anytime my ex angst posted on his social media about me, Cole got some sick satisfaction out of watching his misery. He wanted to string my ex along to keep trying to win my heart just to watch him fail over and over. Cole finds it hilarious that my ex is wasting so much money on gifts for me and that it's him who eats the chocolates and reads the desperate love letters my ex sends to me while I act like my ex's gifts are radioactive and avoid them. This has all been some sick game to see how long he can get my ex to keep pining for me. Who the hell even does this? I've been living in fear for months because Cole thinks it's funny to manipulate my ex and watch him be heartbroken. I cannot articulate how sick all of this is. How is this funny? What is wrong with him? He said he makes sure not to go too far by discouraging my ex to make direct contact with me, but I can't believe anything anymore. I've read so many stories of people who were dating someone who seemed so sweet initially but turned out to be actually unhinged, but I naively never thought that could be me. I was so careless and dumb because I clung to someone who finally treated me with kindness, but he is a twisted man who turned my ex into a monster by feeding his delusions. I think if he hadn't done all this, my ex probably wouldn't still be stalking me in the first place. My constant fear and discomfort have just been an unfortunate byproduct of his little game of puppetry. I can't even comprehend how someone could do something like this. I'm so shaken up I feel like I'm spiraling. Suffice to say, I'm living with my brother and his GF while my ex gets the hell out. I told him he needs to move out within the week or I'm getting the cops involved. He didn't make a fuss or anything, surprisingly. He just looked at the floor like a kicked puppy. He hasn't even tried to call or text me, but I blocked him just in case. I'm going to see if my landlord can understand my situation and let me break lease early with no extra cost, but if I can't, my brother is going to cover the extra cost in the meantime, and I'll stay with him and his GF until I can find somewhere else. My brother is seriously a godsend. I'm definitely going to go back to therapy as soon as possible because this whole situation has me unable to sleep at night, trust anyone, and I really need a better understanding of what are red flags in relationships. So many of you told me I was a pushover, and you're all right. It shouldn't have taken this long for me to call this relationship with Cole off. This is so messed up, but I'm safe for now. I don't know what I'd do without my brother and his GF. Thanks to everyone who told me to get out of this relationship because Cole was way more twisted than I ever could have thought. I don't even know if he told the whole truth, but I don't even care anymore. I'm out. Gone. Never looking back. Edit. Thank you everyone for your advice and words of encouragement. I called the non-emergency police line to file a report of all this. It wasn't super helpful other than just making a record, so I'll do a follow-up with them once I have safe access to my apartment and can collect evidence. I unblocked Cole for now to gather any text evidence as some of you suggested, but he's been pretty quiet. He sent a photo of a couple of garbage bags full of his stuff and he asked if he could have a day to say goodbye to my cat. I have her with me currently at my brother's place, no way am I letting her near him. I haven't replied yet. I turned read receipts off. Haven't contacted X1 yet, still figuring out the best way to do that. Tomorrow is a state holiday where I live, so my brother and his GF will be home from work. We are working together to figure all this out. Definitely moving out of my current place as soon as I can. Sorry I can't reply to all the comments, I'm still pretty overwhelmed and anxious and there are so many that it's frying my brain, but I'm trying to read most of them. I appreciate every one of you, though. Update 2. 10 days later. Sorry it has been a while, it's been a hectic week. Here are the highlights. Cole has moved out. Locks have been changed. Still looking for a different place to move into. The housing market here is awful. I've been staying with my brother despite Cole having moved out because I don't feel safe in that apartment. We have a nice arrangement at my brother's place with me buying half the groceries and cooking 3 times a week. Kitty is now comfortable here. She was hiding under the bed for like 3 days. Still not sleeping well, but I'm safe, so that's what matters. I haven't talked to the police since before. I just couldn't find enough evidence in my apartment to make any kind of case since I threw out most of my Stalker X's gifts. Here's the pretty big update. Stalker X has been informed of Cole's doings. I'm just going to start calling Stalker X James to make things easier. My brother contacted James on Facebook and told him what's been going on. We didn't have physical proof of what Cole did, nor the names of his alts, but we knew enough specific details that it seems James believed us. I've been vetting everything my brother has been sending. James has informed that he checked and most of the accounts that were encouraging his stalking have been deactivated, so it further backed our story, and it seems like Cole is covering his tracks, probably anticipated this. From the conversation, it seems that James has been wary of Cole ever since Cole let him into my apartment for my birthday. He said he didn't actually want to come into the apartment and just wanted to leave the gifts and decor with Cole, but Cole insisted he came in, and that made him feel super awkward and uncomfortable. He was worried that Cole was trying to coax him inside my apartment in order to hurt him, because the way he was acting was really off. He did his best to be in and out as fast as possible because apparently Cole just gave him bad vibes. Anyway, James seems pretty shaken. He didn't put 2 and 2 together that Cole was the one encouraging his behavior, but was starting to get frustrated by the encouragement. Which James said bordered on harassment because one of Cole's alts would spam his DMs with ideas and asking for updates, and it was getting really intrusive. Why did it take this many months for him to finally feel this way? He apologized and promised he would leave me alone, telling me that this situation has him really shaken up. Smells like he wants pity, but I'm not falling for that. I don't know if I believe everything James said. I think he may have tried to play up his negative feelings about this in order to gain sympathy from my brother, and me by proxy, but who knows? I'm not going to talk to him. That's hopefully it for the James side of things. On Cole's side, he has been mostly quiet, but something did freak me out. After I told James about what Cole did, Cole sent these texts, grammar and spelling edited from original texts. Why did you give James my number? Note, I didn't. Not sure how James got his number? What the F is wrong with you? Why did you tell him and give him my number? Note, again, I only did the former, not latter. Seriously? This is fudging ridiculous? He's blowing up my phone, piece of trash. You're such a petty batch for this. Fudging freak. That was 3 days ago, haven't heard anything from Cole since. Haven't replied to anything he sent. No idea how James got Cole's number, so that freaks me out, but that is currently not my problem. Went back to work today. Things are okay, but I'm still anxious. Will update here on my profile if anything develops, but things are stable for now. I don't know if there will be much new now that James is informed and Cole is out. Hopefully, things will stay stable and I can go back to my life. Important edit. Someone sent me a YouTube video of a Reddit read of my post that has 2 updates that never happened and sound like they were written by ChatGPT or other AI, so if you hear anything about a car being air-tagged and me going to court and then moving into a tiny apartment, that's all fake. Don't know why they made AI fanfiction of my story to give it a dramatic conclusion, but I can't even drive a car, I have epilepsy. Editor's note, Reddit Doggo would never do that to you guys, so screw that person for trying to farm views off of the actual story. Update 3. Hello everyone, I know it's been a hot minute, but I'd like to let you know I'm safe, have a new place lined up, was able to break lease early, and have not been contacted by James or Cole since earlier this month. This is just a mini update because a friend who is following James' Facebook saw him post a bunch of selfies of him at a Halloween party. In about 4 of those photos, you can see Cole in the far background. Like Where's Waldo style, just way in the back / peripherals and not looking at the camera / talking to other people. This is super freaky because, as I've mentioned in an early post and from all my knowledge, James and Cole don't know each other, except now that they had their text confrontation, which I have no idea how that concluded. So yeah. I don't know at all what is going on there, but it's making my head go to worst case scenarios. Should I be worried that they've become friends, or is this something else? I'm feeling so paranoid now after having not heard anything for weeks. I thought things might be finally over. Is there any good explanation for this? I don't want to start spiraling again. Should I get my brother to text James to ask him? We haven't talked to him since we let him know about Cole's cyberstalking. Any advice is welcome. Thank you. Edit. I'd like to add that despite James being extremely weird and obviously unwell, He is actually very extroverted and has a huge social circle, so there is a very moderate possibility this is a coincidence, but my gut is saying it isn't.